Anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Trina Braxton, who recently um took to social media because they've aired the premiere of the Braxtons, which is this big story surrounding how the Michael's daughter, their their one and only brother, his daughter had come out with allegations that she had received some inappropriate post, text, whatever you want to call it, from the husband of one of her aunts. A lot of people believe that it was Gabe who was the one that was being inappropriate with her while she was underage. So Gabe's wife, because I believe that they were still, I'm trying to remember, were they still married or not? I don't remember at this point. Trina confuses me with a lot of the timelines when it comes to her personal life. But anyway, so she recently got on social media with her new husband, which girl, you need to get rid of him like you got rid of Gabe, because I don't like him for you. But if you like him, if you like it, I love it. But he just gives trash teas to me. I don't particularly care for that big back looking motherfucker. But anyway, so she goes on social media and puts out this whole post where she's basically talking about that family issues should be kept private amid her niece's abuse claims, which is interesting that she said that. The niece, by the way, her name is Ashley, but it's funny how she says this at a time when, girl, you on a reality show. Y'all need crazy stuff going on behind the scenes in y'all personal lives to even acquire us giving a damn about the storylines in y'all personal lives. And now you saying this got to be private. Why? Because your ex-husband is apparently the catalyst of this whole situation. And her saying, like, yeah, he's dead. So he's not here to defend himself. But y'all making this a whole storyline. Look, quiet as it's kept, y'all made Tracy's storyline of her dying a whole storyline from last season. So if that's off limit, I mean, if that's not off limits, where is the limit in regards of what you can and cannot talk about? But anyway, we got the clip. We're gonna play the clip and then we'll come back and we'll talk. Please hold.
You can call it family secrets. You can call it, Braxton no family values, like I saw some people say.
That's not the name anymore anyway.
Right. It's just the Braxtons right now. I don't think, like I said on the show, I'm going to reiterate it
The
again.
joke is late.
Everything is not for public consumption. I think that I'm not saying the covered wagon. I'm just saying that things should be talked about, things should be dealt with, and things should be discussed if you want real, true healing. I don't think that social media is a forum for people to hear things, especially if it involves them firsthand. Social media is not a place to hear things firsthand. It's just not. And I love you guys enough to tell the truth, and I love me enough to protect myself and my family and my children. Would I be willing to have a conversation? Absolutely. But I think that needed to happen prior to. Do you feel like this is all worth it for all your family business to be put out there? Is it all worth it? And I'm going to actually address that question and say absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. Because our family is just like everybody else's family. And there might be something that happened within our family that might make somebody say, you know what, that's happening in my family and we can reach resolve. If they can do it, I can do it, we can do it.
And Francine, they're gonna.
So I think it cuts off from there because I don't see any more extra attachment to it. But I will say this is like, I'm of two minds about it. While I do feel like certain situations should be left private, that all, like how we say all money ain't good money. A lot of things that goes on in certain families and stuff, everything ain't for public consumption. So I do agree with her on that. Number two, I don't understand why she had to have that damn husband next to her while she's having this conversation. It's like, girl, this is the family situation. You should be able to get on camera and talk about it on your own without him trying to act like he your damn manager, spokesperson, or publicist, whatever the hell it is he trying to act like. But I guess if he is your security blanket and he makes you feel comfortable enough that he need to be there and you want him there, then by all means, whatever. But so I'm of two minds about it. It's like on one hand, I do feel like certain things should be kept behind the scenes, whatever. However, on the other part of me, especially in the black community, I know somebody got mad at me for bringing this up. But I don't give a fuck. Why you only want to circle? Why you only want to bring up black families? There be so many other families that be going. I don't give a fuck about other families. if there was a Latin family that was going through this situation, we need to talk about the fact that Latin people in the Latin community or the Hispanic community like to sweep things about sexual abuse and stuff under the rug. We will be talking about it. How are we talking about black people? And I'm sick of black people wanting to get up in the comments talking about, well, why are you bringing up something? This is exactly the problem. We're talking specifically about something that I understand and I relate to. I have black family members. My father is a black man. So if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to speak on what I know about. And I know there are family members that I have on my father's side that have told me stories about sexual abuse that they've had at the handle of certain family members, this, that, and the other. I ain't going to tell a business on who it was. I'm just saying it out here. And how that gets swept under the rug and how women will choose a man over the protection of their children because they need somebody to keep them comfortable and snuggled up with at night while they over here doing things inappropriate. So these are conversations that we need to have and that to be brought up in these situations because what I've realized, especially when we're going to talk about later on 911 and the whole thing, how Oliver Stark is talking about, yeah, they're going to explore his bisexuality more in the show as a tool to educate people. When we get to that story, you know, I'm going to iterate like I'm going to do with this. TV at times, apparently, when people aren't aware of people who are different than them, a lot of people get their experience or understanding or empathy and all those things when they watch TV. So watching a reality show and seeing that there's a family member that's going through this sort of thing may trigger something, may open up somebody's mind and be like, you know what, this happened to me. This, you know, watching this scene and watching this show may have helped me want to get to a place where I want to confront something that has been buried in my family as a family secret for a long time, and I want to confront it. So that may help somebody who's dealing with that situation in their personal life overcome that by watching this on TV. Now, if the way I didn't see the premiere yet. I have it recorded, but I haven't seen it yet. So if it gets to a point where it becomes sensationalized for sensationalism's sake, then we could discuss the way it was handled in the edit or whatever the case is. I know a lot of people have a problem because it's Tamar that brought up she was going to do it on her podcast, and we all know how messy Tamar can be in a lot of these type of situations. So I get it. I get why some people will feel away because yeah, Tamar can be messy. But if this is a way where you try and maybe she had an axe to grind because you know Tamar doesn't always have the best rapport with her sisters, as we've seen throughout the years on when we watched the Braxtons, when it was the Braxton Family Values, and now when it's the Braxtons. So there might be some, you know, a little bit of deliberate shade thrown up in there, and maybe she is kind of using her niece as a way to get back at him. I don't know. That could be just a lot of things, a lot of scenarios in regards to me when I be doing putting on my critical thinking hat. Because when you dealing with shady family members like I do, especially when the siblings I don't particularly care for, like I don't put nothing past the type of manipulation, the lies, and the type of stunts and shows that certain members that I don't particularly care for will try to pull to get back at you in certain scenarios. So my brain be going on a mile a minute, especially when you dealing with family members. You be wanting to cut the fuck up and try not to go to jail for murder. Because I've had those moments where it's like, look, and many moments where I'm like, child, y'all wouldn't see me because there be moments where I be thinking about, okay, I'm going to go to jail for homicide with killing certain family members. So, but I've had to get a better head on my shoulders and be like, don't do it. So, the people. So before we wrap this up, let me read some of the comments of what the people had to say over at the Jasmine brand. So one person said, "That's the problem. Y'all ain't talking about it even in private." Another person said, "Just take some accountability and heal." My goodness. Another person said, "That's the problem. Nothing has been done in private for years. You can tell she hurting." Another person said, "Now, Trina, I love you, but you signed up for a reality show. Nothing is private." I said the same shit all the time, especially when I be talking about the housewives. When I've had some people in the comments trying to defend when I talk about, oh, Kyle Richards, certain things she don't want to address when it's literally the big elephant in the room. I don't want to talk about, but I'm like, sis, you getting paid millions of dollars being on a reality show. Turnabout is a fair game, in the words of Wendy Williams. So Yeah, you gotta come out here and you gotta put your tea out in the street. You don't get to pick and choose and cherry pick what topics you want to talk about, especially if it's the biggest story of your life and all the other stuff you kind of been giving us is boring. When you sign up for a reality show, this is the sacrifice you make for that check and an extra 15 minutes added on to the situation. Another person actually wants y'all to feel the hurt and shame she's had to endure for years. You can't tell someone how to heal when you've ignored their pain for so long. Another person said keeping family secrets is why Tamar acts out. Hurt turned her into a chaotic person. Tamar said they showed no support to her when she went through it. If Trina knows what's good, she stays quiet. Um, I'll read three more because these were like the good ones, and then we can wrap it up. So another person said, I understand what she's saying, but what she's saying, but you can't tell somebody where and how to tell their story. I hope this family can get past this sooner than later. Another person says she's been quiet for 16 years. She had the right to tell her story, and I believe it makes you look bad. That's why you want her to keep quiet. And plus, she's been talking about it on her TikTok too. Another person said, last but certainly not least, Trina, please, y'all show everything else publicly. Let that child speak where she want to speak. So people have mixed opinions on it, but people feel like, yeah, you want a reality show, that's what y'all signed up for. So if you got a family member that's gone through some stuff and one of y'all husbands, but some people believe it might be Trina's dead husband, Gabe, may have done some things to her that she's still traumatized by and she's trying to work through that. And yeah, now it's a storyline on a reality show. She should be able to talk about what she needs to talk about because it's her experience. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Who do you feel is in the right in this situation? I definitely want to hear from y'all. So let me know what your thoughts on this complex story in the comments down below.